Testing. Hi guys, and welcome to the endocrine system course here. The endocrine system made easy on pharmacy skills. Now this chapter is not very lengthy. It's one of the shorter chapters. So we should be able to go through this in not too long of a time period. However, it is important that we look in depth at some of these topics in this chapter because, for example, diabetes is a very high yield subject that will definitely crop up in the exam. So we need to make sure that we understand and can recall this information under stressful conditions. So of course, we have the lectures and we have the quizzes, the end of lecture quizzes. And of course, there is the ultimate section, which is going to be the endocrine system exam style questions, which you need to go over. And after you've gone through the course, make sure that you can answer these questions in good time. Not just that you can answer the question, but you can answer the questions in good time, because you want to be able to just recognize some of these questions and just keep them moving so you can spend longer on the more SPC style questions. So anyway, looking at the endocrine system, we speak of antidiuretic hormone disorders. So there is diabetes insipidus, which sounds like mellitus, but in actual fact, they're two different disorders, but there is a relationship, which we'll get into. And then the opposite of that would be inappropriate secretion of the antidiuretic hormone, secreting too much of that. And of course, we look at corticosteroids here. How could we not? So we go over some conditions related to corticosteroids, including Cushing's syndrome disease, and of course diabetes mellitus. We need to go over this in detail. We have diagnosis, monitoring, hypoglycemia, and a few other things in there as well. And then there is some hormonal disorders which you might not be familiar with that much, but we cover them here just so that we have a complete knowledge of things here in the endocrine system. This will include things like disorders of bone metabolism, dopamine responsive conditions. You'll notice a lot of responsive kind of conditions are covered here, including sex hormone responsive conditions. Another huge section on thyroid disorders. So now I'll just give you a quick overview of the endocrine system. The endocrine system is a collection of glands that produce hormones that regulate metabolism, growth and development, tissue function, sexual function, reproduction, sleep and mood, and many other things. The endocrine system is made up of your pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid glands, adrenal glands, pancreas, ovaries if you're a female of course, and testes in males. Now the word endocrine comes from a Greek word which is two words, endo, which means within, and crines or crines, meaning to secrete. In general, glands select and remove materials from the blood and then process it and then secrete the finished product, the chemical product, for use somewhere else in the body. The endocrine system affects almost every organ in your body. Now, although hormones circulate through the body, each type of hormone is targeting a specific organ or tissue. The endocrine system gets some help from other organs like the kidneys, the livers, the gonads. For example, the kidney secretes hormones like erythropoietin and renin as well. So the thyroid itself, which we'll get into, of course, the thyroid secretes a range of hormones that affect almost everything that goes on in your body, from vital body functions, including your heart rate, skin maintenance, growth, temperature regulation. The thyroid hormone is the body's master metabolic control center. It also affects your brain, your heart, kidney function, and muscle strength, and much more. All these functions are under the mercy of the thyroid function, so it's important that we look at how this works and functions. And of course, not leaving out the pharmacology, which is the main reason for why we're here. Anyway, remember guys to utilize all the training resources around this subject. Because I say this is not a very hard subject to get your head around. There is bits and bobs that at first they seem hard, but then over time, if you're familiar with the content, it's not hard at all. It's quite easy, and the types of questions they can ask around this subject are quite limited. So there should be no reason why we're not getting 100% on endocrine system. I'll see you guys on the next lecture.